What's up, everyone? I'm on my way to Zion to meet my brother and his fiance. I'm almost there, but I saw this rock shop right outside the park. I'm like, I have to go. This is gonna sound a little weird, but I have chronic migraines. I have tried everything, and it might be a placebo, but the only thing I found that actually helps, maybe not only thing, and again, it could be a coincidence, that is lapis lazuli, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I lost my other one. I have no idea where it is. I couldn't find it in my work pants. I couldn't find it on my nightstand, and I always have it on me. And I've had this migraine, I think I'm on day 8. I'm not even joking. A headache straight for 8 days, and I'm like, you know what? I've already taken acetaminophen and ibuprofen today. I've drank a lot of water. I'm desperate, so I went and got my replacement lapis lazuli. And then I also got labradorite and amazonite because they're pretty. So I'm going to the park today. We're hiking tomorrow because I wanted to get a map and scope out the conditions, see if the rangers have a more in-depth weather report for tomorrow. Because right now it's looking like we're not going to see any precipitation until around 2 p.m., which is great. We can hike Angel's Landing before it gets sketchy. And then get the heck out of there before it does get sketchy. So hopefully they have a better weather report for me. But anyway, let's just go. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to go to Zion for literal years. And I'm just going to also go check out the visitor center today and take my time reading and looking at everything. Okay, so the park apparently never closes, and the visitor center is before the entrance to the park. So I didn't film anything yet, but I got some of these just in case, hydration. Our classic magnet. We always get a magnet wherever we go. And then I got Dan a postcard. I'll probably see this before it gets to him. In the park info, the ranger really wasn't helpful with advice on Angel's Landing. He's just like, make sure you have your spikes. I don't really know the weather for tomorrow. I'm like, thanks, buddy. Looks like we're winging it. But he said there have been reports of just a little bit of ice and snow. We have spikes. We have trekking poles. I think will be good. And then I think doing it on a Friday morning will help with foot traffic as well and doing it early. But yeah, I'm going to go in the park right now because I still have a couple hours of sunlight. So let's go. Excuse me? The earth has no right being that beautiful. I could sit here for the rest of my life. I could die right now and my life would be complete. It's a little dramatic, but wow, especially with the sunset, the golden hour on those rocks. What good timing. Oh my gosh. 10 out of 10. I have nothing bad to say about Zion. And to be honest, they have a shuttle service, which I think is amazing. So right now, obviously, I'm driving. So for your reference, in the winter, the shuttle runs on the weekends. You cannot drive your personal car. And then I think it's from April to October, busy season, you can't drive your personal car here at all. So obviously it is a little inconvenient. I can't pull over and take the shot that I wanted to if I was in the shuttle. I love that they're working to make the park less crowded. Even if it's not people-wise, it is car-wise. I talked about this in my last 3 videos. And I talk more about it up here in our videos from Arches. That took away so much of the experience for me from Arches, with the over amount of people, the over amount of cars. So I think what they're doing to try to keep it actually natural and wild is really, really great. I just did the Scenic drive today. I'll probably do it again tomorrow with Isaiah and Brittany. Beautiful. And it's winter. I can only imagine what it's like in the summer. And I say this is the most beautiful. I would actually die of the beauty if I was here in autumn. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to have to come back in every season so I can experience it every season. That's all that I have planned for tonight. I'm going to go get to the Airbnb, have some dinner, and then get my bag packed for tomorrow. Okay, that takes us to the end of Angel's Landing, but stay tuned, there is more in this video to come. I just wanted to run through a few of my thoughts real quick while hiking. The night before, the morning of, I was so nervous. I honestly didn't think I was going to be brave enough essentially to complete it, which ended up being the case for a lot of people. And I thought I was going to just be so scared that I wouldn't enjoy it and I wouldn't want to come back with Dan in a few months. And the anticipation just kept building as we were going up and up and up the switchbacks. And eventually we reached the sign like, Angel's Landing is here, like turn back now if you're scared type of thing. And we saw it and I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. And instantly we were met with a lot of people who were terrified, like so scared that they were becoming a hazard to other people because they had zero confidence. So it was in that moment I kind of decided like, okay, I have to be confident. I can't be scared because I will be a hazard to other people if I let that happen to me. And then I think also just the adrenaline, the excitement of doing this famous hike really just put all the fear out of my mind. Even those sketchy parts where it was like 2 feet wide and you could see right down to the river. Maybe I just lost my fear of heights. Maybe it was the adrenaline. I don't really know, but I really enjoyed this hike. If you do go in the winter, spikes 100%. They weren't necessary. We saw people in terrible shoes. So many people unprepared. But yeah, the spikes really helped. And that was pretty much it. There was this other point in the hike where you make this crest. You're not entirely on the fin yet, and you get over this crest, and there it is. There you can see the fin, like the famous shot. Here's a photo I took. Wow, everyone who came over that crest, jaw dropped. It's just so like that's when it really hits you like, oh, I gotta go up that. And it was way steeper than I thought, the Angel's Landing itself. So still quite strenuous even after the switchbacks. It is a very difficult hike. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it. So glad we got to do it. But we are also super glad that they're starting to do permits. We all collectively agreed permits is the way to go for the safety of everyone, and there's also 2 endangered species that live there, so the permits will be a good thing. I'm not sure what the process is to get them yet. They haven't started yet as of filming this, but stay tuned for updates on the permits. Anyway, we'll get back to the actual footage. We went through the rest of Zion, we went to a few state parks, and then we made it to the Grand Canyon at the end with quite a surprise at the Grand Canyon, so stay tuned. We completed the Zion Scenic Drive and then made it to the river walk that will eventually take you to the Narrows. We didn't do the Narrows. It was a little too cold for us. And of course our priority was Angel's Landing, and we found the nicest squirrels. They most likely get fed human food, which is why they're so nice, but they let us hold them. This path was super nice. It was paved. It was great for strollers or disabled people, old people as well. And it was just a super beautiful scenic hike. Before dinner, we stopped at Coral Pink Sand Dunes, which was mostly orangish reddish. Sand was so soft, and then as you can see in the background, we narrowly missed the rain, except it did start kind of snowing on us when we came out of the visitor center. Not prepared. I was wearing sandals. The next morning, we were still faced with a lot of snow and hail, but it cleared up for us by the time we got to Wire Pass Trail, also known as Buckskin Gulch. It depends on which side you start, the name of it. But basically we stopped here. We didn't want to just drive to the Grand Canyon because it was 4 hours and we wanted a few things to do. 100% recommend checking this out. This was I think the world's largest, maybe the US's longest slot canyon. It was really cool within Grand Staircase Escalante. I talked about this in the last video that I made. Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument is so underrated. So many beautiful hikes in that park. And really, we rarely see people when we go here. So highly recommend going there. And just your reminder, as I always talk about in slot canyons, do not go into a slot canyon if it is raining or about to rain. It can become very dangerous. We also stopped at Horseshoe Bend, a classic stop on the way to the Grand Canyon. And then on our drive to the Grand Canyon, it began snowing. A little bit at first, we didn't think it was going to be much, and then whiteout conditions, blowing snow. It was crazy. So bad that we actually couldn't even see the Grand Canyon. It was a little disappointing. Here's what the view looked like. But it started to clear up that evening, and we decided, let's wake up early, let's go check out the Grand Canyon before we head back our separate ways. So that's what we did. The snow cleared up, well, sort of. There was about 4 inches of snow on the ground in the morning, but there was no more blowing precipitation, which really helped the conditions. But we made it. We finally got to see the Grand Canyon. I say finally, like, I saw it a few months ago. I'll leave the video linked above. But this was my brother's first time seeing it since we were kids, and this was Brittany's first time seeing it ever. So it was really, really cool to see it snow-covered and during the sunrise. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in any more of our adventures, be sure to subscribe.